Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, family? Welcome to my writer's life. This is Alicia Anabel Santos, the writing midwife, and I'm coming to you live from my car somewhere here in the Bronx. I'm sitting in the car this morning, waiting to begin my work day. Feeling a little under the weather, but still showing up. Today's diary is titled, "The Well is Dry." When the well is dry. When the well is dry, when we're feeling unempty, when we're feeling like at a loss for words, without words, that there's no inspiration anywhere. Today's message is about remembering that this is our job. So do your job. When the well is empty, it's a sign that we have to begin again. We have to start again from the top. And I know what this looks like because it happens often. I have a burst of energy. I'm incredibly inspired. I go until I work myself to exhaustion, and then I collapse and go through a dry spell or fall into like a bout of depression or feeling like the universe has stopped gifting me. I read that in Dani Shapiro's Still Writing. She wrote on depression and feeling like you have nothing left. When low-level depression sets in, the world hides its gifts from me. The feeling of the well being empty, it means I have spent everything. And so I must begin again. Words have never felt more true. When I wrote my memoir, Finding Your Force, A Journey to Love, I immediately, while I was celebrating the release of my first book, there was excitement, but I immediately was depressed. I was moving through the motions. It was exciting. It was an exciting time. I was being invited to speak at colleges. I was having readings all over at different venues and bookstores, but I was broke. I was facing eviction. My daughter was in college. She was an undergrad. And so I had rent to pay. Like I had all of these bills and no money coming in. And the book certainly wasn't making me any money, while I'm so grateful for the people who contributed to my GoFundMe and my Indiegogo. I mean, it really made my book launch and my book tour a success. Because of them, I was able to go out and self-market and get my story out, But I was on E, and I was done. And I was in a dark depression for many months after writing the book. Everything came crashing around me. It's interesting because you feel like when you write something like that, when you write nonfiction, when you're writing something that's very personal to you, you're giving all of yourself and you're exposing yourself to the world. And you leave yourself open to this criticism and rejection or acceptance. But it's not all love all the time. So what I found myself doing after writing Finding Your Force was that I would reread it. I read the book again. And every once in a while, I read the book again. And I remind myself of what I've completed, right? I have a memoir that's over 400 pages of moments of my life. But I remind myself of what I've been through, where I come from, what I've done, where I failed, and how I picked myself up from the ashes. And so I begin again. And this moment in my life is no different, right? I'm picking myself up again. This year, I found out that my brother was sick with a deadly disease. It killed him. And so the writer in me has changed. Him getting sick has changed me. And I'm still figuring that out. But what I know is that I'm on empty and I'm beginning again. I know that this year has been draining and exhausting and depressing and sad. And I'm being called to begin again, which is why I do things like have a writing challenge, which is why I post on my Instagram, things that rise for me. I'm like constantly writing. All of that is part of me filling my cup, serving others, but filling my cup, filling my well. So when the well is dry, we have to remember, we have to do the things that serve us, that serve the work. What can we revisit to get back into the story that we've abandoned a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago, but that we're still excited about, that we still feel like this is something that I want to complete? How can we fill the well? For me, it's reading things that inspire me, like books on craft, like still writing. Like I'm revisiting these index cards that I created on still writing, with just inspirational lines to remind myself of the writer that I am and where I can turn to for the inspiration that I need to do the work. Because ultimately we have to remember that this is our job and we are being called to do our job. So while I am in grief, like I am enmeshed in it, it's all over me, and it's hard a lot of times. It's hard most days. I am a writer and I have a job, and I have to remind myself to take care of myself and to fill the well. Let's breathe, family. Let's do some writing prompts, you all right? The last book I read that inspired me was that you can pause this meditation to write, journal, reflect. What was it about this text? The thing I most remember about that text is today I will remember that I am a writer who Inspiration is all around us. I know that some of us are struggling. December is a really hard month, but it's also a beautiful month. This is a wonderful month to begin again, to just begin again. We don't have to wait till January 1st, until December 31st to commit to a new way, you know, to finding that inspiration that'll help us get back into the story. Maybe it's a podcast show. Maybe it's a song. Pick one thing and free write about it. Like if there's a quote that you love, free write about it. Like if we are writers, we write. So do your job, yo. That's it. That's all I came on here to say today. Have a beautiful day. Peace.